Welcome to the global WarWatch network. China is secretly building the largest wartime command complex on Earth, a hidden city beneath Beijing, designed, it seems, to change the future of warfare. Today, we're focusing on the strategic significance of this really monumental project, the Beijing Military City, or BMC. Now, this is a partly subterranean facility, covers an estimated 1,500 acres, and it's scheduled to be fully operational by 2027. That deadline deliberately aligns with the PLA's centennial goal of becoming a, quote, world-class force. So the fundamental question we really need to address is this. Does the BMC's, unprecedented scale, its complete functional integration, and its reliance on AI-enabled systems, does all that mark a truly revolutionary, technologically superior advancement in military command and control that fundamentally redefines modern warfare?
Okay, I see why you position it as revolutionary. I really do. But I approach the material from a slightly different perspective. While the BMC is clearly a massive undertaking, its sheer scale is undeniable. I contend that its primary function is fundamentally conventional. It's about ensuring strategic continuity and leadership survivability. To me, it represents an evolutionary, albeit gigantic, centralization effort that largely mirrors, established, hardened global models, rather than introducing some kind of truly new operational paradigm.
I find that reasoning strategically incomplete, frankly. Because the BMC, I believe, is designed to be the absolute apex of 21st century C2 architecture. Its scale isn't just for survivability, though that's part of it. It's necessary for the modernization and, crucially, the integration that surpasses anything currently operational. That 2027 deadline isn't arbitrary. It's the timeline for realizing Xi Jinping's vision. This facility, as I understand it, is conceived as China's indispensable physical and virtual C2 hub. It's meant to unify data fusion, predictive decision-making, and order transmission across all 5 domains: land, sea, air, cyber, and space. We're seeing evidence, reports of advanced AI-enabled command systems intended to dramatically shorten the decision response cycle, leveraging things like predictive analytics and rapid wargaming. This degree of unified high-speed integration, that's the true leap, I think. It establishes a new global benchmark.
Well, that's certainly a compelling outline of, let's say, future intent. But the strategic priority revealed by the physical design, the actual construction we're seeing, it points much more towards conventional protection. The primary stated objective, as far as we know it, protecting top political and military leadership, is centered squarely on continuity, not really operational innovation. The early satellite imagery, construction reports, they detail massive, really deep excavation pits and hardened, interlaced bunkers. These are specifically intended, it seems, to shield leadership from strategic, conventional bombardment, nuclear strikes, even advanced kinetic attacks. This deep hardening is, it's simply an updated version of a pretty well-worn strategy. It mirrors established facilities like the U.S. Raven Rock Mountain Complex, Site R, which is also essentially an underground Pentagon, explicitly designed for government continuity during catastrophic events. And another point. The BMC is fundamentally the successor to the aging Western Hills, or Shishan, command compound. This strongly suggests it's more of a necessary modernization and relocation of a centralized asset, rather than the establishment of some entirely new operational philosophy based on, say, decentralization or distribution. When we analyze the core functions you cite, data fusion, decision superiority, secure comms, look, these are the defining features of any modern C2 hub globally, regardless of the nation. The function of strategic command remains conventional, even if the building housing it is absolutely massive.
Okay, but I would frame the scale and that self-sufficiency aspect differently. They aren't merely conveniences, they are functional requirements that I argue confirm its operational superiority over older centers. The BMC is designed for true independent continuity. It's planned to include comprehensive living quarters, medical facilities, vast logistics hubs, even recreational amenities, allowing key personnel to operate independently for extended, perhaps indefinite periods under extreme stress. This self-sufficiency is vital for maintaining strategic command resilience against persistent, potentially paralyzing threats. However, and this is crucial, I agree that the true game changer isn't just the concrete, it's the operational philosophy centered on AI. By using deep learning presumably to analyze battlefield data in real time, the facility aims to achieve dynamic resource allocation, predictive modeling, drastically reducing the traditional human decision cycle. That capability that defines next-generation warfare in a way older conventional bunkers simply cannot match.
Sure, I agree that independence of operations is critical. Absolutely. But robust self-sufficiency is, well, it's a standard essential component of hardened C2 infrastructure. It's not exactly a revolutionary breakthrough. Site R, the facility you compared it to earlier, is designed to accommodate thousands of personnel for months. It's equipped with independent power generation, water supply, advanced air filtration. The U.S. has been executing this kind of comprehensive hardening strategy for, nearly 60 years now? The fundamental issue, I think, is whether projected scale and, let's be honest, theoretical AI capabilities inherently surpass the operational competence of existing, battle-tested structures. Consider the U.S. National Military Command Center, the NMCC. It might not be brand new, but it's often described as the, quote, most experienced battle-tested command structure. It has decades of real-world crisis management experience providing irreplaceable strategic depth. So we have to weigh the value of, frankly, unproven theoretical AI integration against proven operational systems. Even looking regionally, India's IACS network demonstrated real-world success in high-intensity conflict scenarios, specifically during Operation Sindoor, providing real-time sensor-to-shooter capability and high-speed coordination. The value of a brand-new, incredibly complex system has to be measured against the resilience of networks proven under actual combat stress.
That emphasis on historical experience is valid, of course, but the BMC's integration aims to eliminate the very latency and potentially the human error inherent in those decade-old systems, which brings us directly to the structural choice, centralization. The BMC is designed explicitly to be the singular, resilient nerve center for all 5 domains. It's meant to fuse intelligence and ensure seamless, synchronized orders across the entirety of the PLA structure. This level of centralization is essential, I argue, to achieve what we call command fidelity, the faithful, high-speed translation of political intent into unified, kinetic military action across previously siloed services. We saw a perhaps less sophisticated but conceptually similar structural effectiveness in Russia's National Defense Management Center, the NDMC. During its peak effectiveness, it managed to successfully oversee complex multi-front operations in theaters like Syria and initially Ukraine, maximizing efficiency by unifying disparate command streams.
I find that centralization model strategically incomplete, maybe even risky. While it certainly offers streamlined communication pathways, yes, it simultaneously creates a single catastrophic failure point, a tremendously high-value target that, even if hardened against a nuclear strike, is potentially vulnerable to systemic paralysis. Hardening against physical threats is one thing. Hardening against a targeted cyber attack or maybe an EMP attack designed to paralyze that singular nervous system, that's an entirely different operational challenge. The resilience we should perhaps prioritize comes from distributed, layered command structures, the kind used by competitors. Look at the U.S. system. It strategically layers its command. You have the NMCC for central command, sure, but it relies heavily on specialized distributed commands like U.S. STRATCOM for global strike and nuclear ops, and CENTCOM for regional execution. And all of these are reinforced by secure, alternate sites like Cheyenne Mountain or Site R. This distribution offers systemic resilience and redundancy that seems far superior to relying on a single monolithic primary hub, regardless of how deep its concrete walls are. And furthermore, citing the Russian NDMC, well, that's questionable now, isn't it? While centralized, the NDMC has actually been cited for significant bureaucratic bottlenecks and failures in synchronizing joint operations effectively in Ukraine. It suggests centralization alone doesn't guarantee high command fidelity or success.
That structural distribution you champion often introduces significant complexity and potentially critical latency in intercommand communication and decision-making, especially during high-stress moments. The BMC aims to solve this trade-off by explicitly coordinating across domains and with civilian agencies simultaneously. The strategic goal here isn't just military coordination. It's about building a common operating picture for both military and political leadership, elevating C2 from merely tactical management to fully strategic state management during a national crisis. The PLA has historically suffered from poor coordination between its various branches and the central political leadership. The BMC is designed, it appears, to eradicate that historical weakness, making it truly world-class in that sense.
Right, but I challenge the idea that this level of unified political-military integration is somehow unique or revolutionary. It feels more like a necessary convergence, given modern conflict. We see similar models globally precisely because the nature of modern, high-intensity warfare demands it. Look at NATO's C2 structure, centered its shape. It relies on a comprehensive system called Federated Mission Networking, FMN, for secure, interoperable, real-time coordination across, 31 allied nations now, dynamically fusing strategic and operational data. I mean, if 31 nations can achieve sophisticated integration, a single nation should certainly be expected to do so eventually. Furthermore, we already have examples of highly integrated C2 hubs serving this exact function of state management during a crisis.
Israel's Pit Command Center and the newer Fortress of Zion, they're designed as central convergence points for political and military leaders, managing complex operations during emergencies. These facilities already showcase that integrated C2 hubs combining political and military decision-making are essentially the global standard for managing high-intensity conflict. So the BMC feels like a crucial, necessary step for China to catch up to this existing standard of strategic integration and hardening. It seems designed to overcome its own historical, institutional deficiencies, rather than setting a genuinely new benchmark for everyone else.
So, to summarize my perspective then, the sheer scale, the clear strategic intent tied directly to the PLE centenary, and the planned integration of sophisticated AI-enabled systems for rapid, unified decision-making, all this positions the Beijing military city as significantly more than just a large, secure bunker. I see it as potentially the world's most advanced, future-proof C2 ecosystem, designed to synchronize national power across every domain, and effectively establishing an unmatched global benchmark for military command architecture.
And I conclude that while the BMC is undeniably massive and clearly vital for ensuring leadership survivability and continuity of government for China, its core design philosophy, hardened, self-sufficient, centralized, really echoes established international practices, albeit on a much grander scale. The true measure of a world-class force, in my view, isn't the size or depth of its primary headquarters, but the resilience and, critically, the proven battleworthiness of its command structure. I maintain the true resilience currently favors the battle-tested distributed networks over the, perhaps significant, strategic vulnerability inherent in relying on a single, centralized megastructure, regardless of its claimed technological capacity.
Right. It is clear, though, that the source material confirms China is making a massive, truly strategic investment in its C2 capabilities, clearly seeking to overcome historical friction points. We leave our listeners to consider whether this monumental centralization introduces an entirely new and critical vulnerability that competitors might exploit, or if it indeed marks an irreversible stride toward military dominance through unmatched integration. Thank everyone for your time and participation today. Please do like, share, and subscribe to Global WarWatch Network. Also, please share your thoughts in the comments section. We do read them, and join us on social media. The links are provided in the description.